Okay, today we're going to learn about equivalent fractions. Before we begin, I do want to refresh your memory as to the difference between equal and equivalent. Numbers are equal when they are the same on both sides of your equation. 5 is equal to 5. We have the exact same number on both sides of our equation. Numbers are equivalent when they have the same value on both sides, but they don't look the same. So over here I could write a number of things. I'm going to choose to write 3 plus 2. Both sides have a value of 5. They don't look the same. Now with fractions we want to look at a picture to begin with. I have two pictures that are equal in total size. This box is the same total size as this box. However, in this box I'm shading 2, my numerator, out of 4 sections. So I have shaded 2/4 of this box. In this box I'll be shading 4 out of 8 sections. I've shaded 4/8. Because the total area of each is equally shaded, we can say that these fractions are equivalent. Now let's look at that using math. When we find an equivalent fraction, we can multiply or divide. If I multiply, remember, the important thing is I change my numerator and denominator by the same value. So if I multiply by 2 in my numerator, I need to do the exact same thing in my denominator. In other words, I'm doubling my numerator and doubling my denominator. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So I can say that 2/4 is equivalent to 4/8. Now, using that same diagram, I can look at 4/8 and divide. If I divide my numerator by 2, I need to divide my denominator by 2. I am taking half of my numerator, 4 divided by 2, and half of my denominator, 8 divided by 2. And I have now proven using multiplication and division that 2/4 and 4/8 are equivalent numbers. Now, as I said previously, multiply or divide using one number in your numerator and denominator. Here I'm going to have it look a little different. 2/4 times 2/2, which was the same thing that we did before, is 4/8. Now, let's look at an example where we change them differently. Okay, and in this case I'll use red. Red says stop. If I used a 2 in my numerator and a 3 in my denominator, 2 times 2 or doubled is 4. 4 times 3, well, I didn't double it, I tripled it. So they can't be equivalent. I didn't change them in the same way. That's a no. Down here, using division, let's use that same thinking. 8 divided by 2, or 16 divided by 2 equals, well, 8, half of 8 is 4, or rather a fourth of 8. I think I'm saying that incorrectly. Let me start that over. Division sounds a little different. Let's just use the numbers as they are. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 16 divided by 2 is 8. Now, I was saying it correctly. Half of 8 is 4. Half of 16 is 8. Now, what if I tried to do that using that same thinking up here by 2/3? Well, I could do the top. 8 divided by 2, or half of 8. 4, but here's a pretty quick tip. I cannot even do that without getting a decimal. In the 4th grade, we don't do that, so we couldn't come up with an answer, and we didn't change it. We took and divided 16 by thirds. So remember, same number in your numerator and your denominator. Now, another tip, and this is not one that I want you to only ever use. This helps you sort of catch the wrong answers quickly, but you still need to use math. However, I'm going to see if each of these fractions in blue is equivalent to 2/4. So I would say 2 times 2 equals 4. So does 4 times 2 equal 8? The answer is yes, they are equivalent. 2 times 3 equals 6. So I have to also say that 4 times 3 equals 12, and it does. Those are equivalent. 2 times 4 equals 8. 4 times, well, I have to be able to use 4, and 4 times 4 does equal 16. So here's what we can start to do, and here's how you'll see it in 4th grade. You'll see rows of 4 or 5 numbers a lot of the time, and you have to prove, as we've done, that they are all equivalent. However, you can also, as a very quick check, make sure you have multiples. And remember, multiples are skip counting, like 2, 4, 6. Oh, hey, we got to this. Here's a tip. You gotta tell your parents, skip. We're skip counting. So we could say 2, 4, 6, 8, counting by 2s. Down here you'll see it, 2, 4, 6, 8. So that is a possible correct answer, and our denominator has to be a multiple of the smallest number as well, 4, 8, 12, 16. So all of those are possible answers, but you do want to go back up here and check using multiplication, or in some cases, division. So I leave you with a reminder and a challenge. The reminder, you can find equivalent fractions with multiplication or division. That multiples can help us find correct or incorrect, let me restate, they can't necessarily prove they're correct, but they can help us find the incorrect answers. And one number for your numerator and denominator, whether you're dividing or multiplying. Now your challenge, you have 3 sets of numbers here. I would like you to use multiplication or division to prove which one of these rows is made up of only equivalent fractions.